It just tells on the stupidity of the leader of that organization. And I'm telling you, like Cizo says here, Mahmoud must go jail. We go drag Obi. After we carry our mandate, we go drag Obi. Mahmoud go jail for the pains he has put us through, for the nonsense he did. That man supposed go jail. And in Cizo's voice, 20 years at least, because what he did, it is treason against the Nigerian people and against our constitution. He must go jail. He must go jail. I wish and I pray that we get good wins tomorrow from the tribunal. We need to watch our tribunal live on TV, and I hope everything will work out. As for the tribal ban, the US is doing well, but we keep shouting and we keep pressing their necks to release the names, and we will tell them extend the travel ban to the families of these people. If they cannot go outside to access medical care, like the dumb president that is in the UK treating toothache, if he cannot go outside to do that, he will fix Nigeria, or they will fix Nigeria. I'll end my submission here. Thank you very much. I yield the mic.
Thank you very much, my brother, Chief Oyakena. It's always the pleasure having you on the platform. Wonderful take as usual. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on. Before we come into the Violence Select, sorry, Vinex Select, Dr. Lu.
So that we only recognize one chairman on this platform. So that I don't know where you're getting this chairman from. I told you to go to court.
Otuba, you are the one that will go to court now. You don't see
wait, okay, let me ask you a question. Who the first declare? No, wait. Whose result? Wait. Who the first declare? Who the first declare?
If you are the second or
third, Sammy, come and witness.
Jimmy, you know you are my lawyer. I will, and definitely Jimmy, you know, I don't want us to sing Orlando for this guy.
No, Dr. Lu, I'm asking you a simple question. If you check the timeline, there was wait. Let me explain how it works.
It's 2.4 million votes, my brother.
Forget your announcement came hours after my own announcement.
Who told you announcement? When me Naija was my collating officer. When me Naija
we don't replace since when? When me Naija never do as they go. You never know the next shit.
You have to like where you know you are in the US. Hope we say we no go ban you because we go just ask maybe you have narcotic affiliation.
By the way, we go see for list where you know VC.
Chairman is thank you, Saddam. Self-acclaimed APC factional chairman, and then you can see the work we are doing. One of the effort that was put in place was one of the pressure that I put on the BBC right all the way from the United Kingdom, as I rightly said earlier, that we are going to coordinate every form of media from this part of the world to ensure that the Bala Blue of Nigeria, at least, even if it's not going to go to jail, must return the stolen mandate. Now, the point here is, I have a very, not really a contrary opinion, but a very kind of a way of letting us see the positive side from the US release and the BBC stuff. The point here is about the timing when the timing of all this information coming out. The timing is very significant to whatever discussion we are having. If you look at Bloomberg was consistent. BBC came out just this early this morning. US the same thing. And whether it's like somebody make an update on whether make an illustration on TL that you stole a meat from the pot. That is Archie anyway. You stole one meat. Then everybody catch you that truly you actually stole this one meat. Then later they are looking for the whole pot. They can't find the whole pot. But at least there's an evidence that somebody have stolen a meat. What he's trying to bring about is there is empirical evidence that shows that there is irregularity. Whether the outcome will determine whether the evidence will be enough to determine the outcome. And that is the illustration the useless son Keyamo was trying to put out that even though They wrote an article. They wrote one documentary that shows one particular place. It was just trying to speak in tongues. Useless man. The fundamental point here is that they have admitted that Rivers State was actually not won by Tinubu. That is number one point. And it's very difficult for APC to admit failure, or it's one of the greatest weakness or the problem we have been having with APC is that they always believe that they are right. But it's a shame to me, to our medias, to Vanguard, to the so-called Punch, to Daily Trust, to all those Nigerian news media, apart from Premium or what's their name. This is something that naturally Nigerian media should be the one propagating this kind of information. But for you to capture a state, one of the power you need to do is to ensure that you capture the media, and that is why we have parallel facts now. So my own positive take from this BBC stuff is that, number one, it's coming towards the inauguration. The more people are saying BBC Africa, BBC the world, they will not change anything. It's a lie. Because this BBC Africa is not only Nigeria that follows them. It's more or less like people said they have a Nigerian president. His name is Tinubu, but the guy rig his way in. Even naturally, that is a very bad reputation for the so-called Tinubu. So my own take is the timing of all these things is a very positive. Is one of the fuel that we need. Because to be sincere, what they are expecting from us is for us to have been like PDP guys. I don't want to mention somebody's name. One of the popular PDP on TL. The guy think like dumb. He think like as if he's one of the most. He's the most stupid.
That's you want to talk.
If no be you, I go try for me and go back Nigeria.
That guy is the most. In fact, that guy has cerebral palsy. That is the reality. Because the question is, I don't understand the kind of opposition, the kind of game, I don't know. I just don't understand.
Dr. Olu, it's not a game. He's auditioning for APC. That's what he's doing. When he's waving his pompa and trying to get APC to vote.
Okay. But the question is, at least Yoruba need to say something. That if they say you have something that is very smelly, at least we cover it up. That is it. So if what they are expecting us to do or to have become as an obedient is to be like PDP guys. If you look at what is the name of this other one too, that Mr. Ibu, that one too is tweeting whether you like it or not. Tribunal we hold, clinical inauguration we hold. These are the things all these APC guys want us to be talking about, and these are the things that will kill the morale of people. So my own take is that anything that will give me encouragement, that will give me hope, that will ensure that it is possible 100% is a welcome development. At least if a tribunal open the case, okay, there is an evidence that shows that Rivers State is rigged. Rivers State is not one. It's more or less like when you are going to court, bring your evidence, bring your facts. That's what they always talk about. Without you complain, at least must have facts. Okay, Rivers State is not what is on the high. That one is enough for any judge, any of the judges to say that let us go and review all of that stuff, and then everything is going to be unraveled. That is one. Two, I think we are not even talking about what PDP is doing to our candidate in Enugu State. Anytime I look at what is this is the kind of Nigeria that I'm afraid of. How will I have be using Obafemi Awolowo University fake certificate? And OAU is now going to court to go and find out that is it true that this guy is using my fake certificate? And I'm not going to court and tell OAU not to confirm. What kind of correlation is that? What kind of Nigeria? What kind of Nigeria are we aspiring to have? And these are the reasons why we need to just at least. I know Jimmy want to pray. Me too, I will pray because we don't have choice. The presidency of Tinubu automatically we should just forget about Nigeria. We should just forget about Nigeria because there will never be rule of law. And that's the reason why all those TO and PDP guys, they don't have the boldness, the confidence to say the truth. So in a nutshell, for Tribunal tomorrow, I'm really looking forward to a positive response. I'm very confident that positive. I'm looking at the expose of the BBC, the Bloomberg, the US, US, because the US stuff, all these things are timing, and there is all these judges too. They not be say they don't get here. They know what is going on. So there is no way it's not going to shape their narrative. It doesn't mean that they are going to win election for us, but no matter how it is more or less like the world are aware of what is going on. Look at the election in Turkey. Excellent. Fantastic. I don't know why can't we get to that stage. Turkey is not as if they are just. Many of my friends here are from Turkey. They are leaving Turkey to come and practice medicine in the UK because they were complaining of a substandard way of life. But in my mind, I was like, give me your 50% of your Turkey. Do you think I will come here? So the question is, they have a very successful election without any pin. But and it's not as if I don't know.
You know the funny part there. I think the election started. Was it on Saturday night? By Sunday evening US time, we had the result. Like the result was live upload, and they didn't have to go to court for the court to tell them to do rerun. I think they're going to rerun now, runoff. Like there was no need for them to go to seek any court's interpretation of the results. It's their constitution. It didn't meet this percent. It didn't meet this XYZ. Triggers a rerun automatically.
Look at Brazil. The same thing. So the point here, my own conclusion is that any information that is going to give us encouragement, please, is a welcome development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. All right. Let's move on real quick. Let me bring in my sister, the general herself, the emperor, the conqueror, the champion. General.
Saddam, how are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. Good to have you.
Good evening, Otumba. Everyone, how are you doing? Dr. Luasi said you don't read your way into office, but no wahala.
Listen, you should stop. This matter is in court.
General, you are going to be.
I forgot that General was also on the ballot box.
General,
I did ballot. I forced myself into ballot. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this BBC report. I saw it this morning. I was like, okay, let me read this.
Sorry, General, please. Sorry, please. I'm sorry I have to do this. Please, guys, we have a very big story on the parallel facts. It's up there on the Jumbotron. Please go and read. We have big stories that just broke on the parallel facts right now, and they were sent to me. You guys should please go up there and read. We'll talk about these topics, I think, on Thursday, but please go and read about them. Thank you, guys. Please retweet and share also. Thank you. Our big handles, please retweet our stories. Oh, thank you. God bless you guys. General, please go on.
So I read the BBC report this morning, and I wanted to make sure that this is not another funny article, with an interesting caption, but then inside of it is something else. So, sorry, Saddam, give me 5 minutes. I'm around my kids. It's chaotic.
Okay, take care of them. Take care of them. You can always come. When you're back, please just raise up your hands. All right. Okay, I think General has taken a part of the lady, so we'll go to a guy that will come back to a lady. Attackers, you're here for the longest, so I'll bring you in right now. Attackers, my brother, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Saddam. Good evening, Saddam Otumba. Let me just quickly go to this BBC matter of Wike, because sometimes when people say that BBC are trying to pinpoint only River State, the fact still remains that I do operate in 2 states, and whenever I normally used to come back where I stay weekend, most of my people that live there, they normally say that the place here you're working, look at how River State people do this, do that. They don't really understand what happened on ground. Let me just speak for the Choba now. In Choba, because I was the ward observer, what really happened is that almost all the polling unit agents metamorphosed to be ward observer, because we stay in the ward for almost like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. That was when police people have to come and carry all the coppers and the rest of them and go to local government council. So that was what happened, because still yet the ward chairman, the ward chairman was that That is the ward agents. We are working directly with the ward chairman and also directly with the Obiabo Labour Party and directly to the state chairman. And you know very well what really happened to those people. They were, especially the Obiabo and the River State Labour Party chairman. They were really compromised. That was the reason why they didn't really defer our vote, because we really stayed to make sure that our vote was really held. And some people don't want to talk about what really happened. So when this BBC just come out this today, a lot of people in River State, a lot of people, we are happy. Let me just tell you, a lot of people, we are happy because this is a story that media were not trying to carry it. They didn't want to carry it. They were thinking that is a whole governor can just do anyhow and the rest of them just carry our vote. A whole River State that almost 90% or 100% voted for Labour Party. As of 2 p.m., River State vote was done. That was when they started all these nonsense shenanigans in trying to do all this IREC and the rest of them, upload and not uploading. At the end of the day, we could not even see our vote. So this story have to be there, and the whole world have to know about this River State, because we are very, very pissed about this. River State voted. They have what we call a voting dynamics. They don't vote rubbish, for goodness sake. How on earth will you explain to people that a whole River State in Nigeria voted for Tinubu, for goodness sake? A whole River State. That one now mumu now. Now juju be this now. So these are kind of the story that the whole world needs to know about it. And we took upon ourselves that to promote this story, to know that this man called Wike, sometimes when they were telling Wike lead, we follow this man is a total disaster right from 2015. The first year that this man was in office, it was total disaster. Some people don't even know that a whole local government, especially Omoa, was totally on kidnapping mood for good 3 years. Some people did not know. Is it because of the media we are not carrying it? This man is a total disaster. Wike is a total disaster. He's pure a tout. This man don't even know what is the meaning of governance. Is it because he was in PDP when we are trying to be in opposition? Some people were hailing. No, this man is a total tout. This is the kind of person that immediately he step out of the power, he's supposed to be in Kuje prison. At least just stay there because what this man did, you won't understand. The River State people we are really dealt with during election time. Even doing campaign, some people could not even campaign boldly. People could not really campaign boldly. So this story, everybody needs to know about this story. Whether they are trying to only focus on River State, let this River State propagate that our vote really belongs to Labour Party. That is the fact. That is the fact. I don't care what anybody wants to say. I don't care. Yes, we know that we are still going to be doing our. We know very well that Labour Party won Bayelsa State. We know that one in Benue State. We know in Taraba State. We also know a lot of places in Akwa Ibom State. We know that one. But this River State own is so personal to a lot of people. This is the total 1 million vote in South South, the highest voting population in South South. And you're telling us that a South South highest voting population that know how to vote, we vote APC that totally destroyed the country for good 8 years and gaslight Nigeria for good 8 years. We need to tell this story to the whole world that this man called Wike is a total disaster. He's supposed not, that is, nobody's supposed to be associated with this man. That is a fact. And we need to propagate it so well. That man is they're supposed to deal with this man for goodness sake. Let us forget about the fact that it's only one state that they're supposed, in this particular weekend, they're supposed to deal with this man. This man want to give, some people don't even know what this man did before the election. Man, honestly, I just believe that let justice to be, this man supposed to be in prison, honestly. And I like the fact that this news is propagating. I like the fact that the truth is still coming up, because I know that May 29, is not sacrosanct. I yield.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. I know what Wike did, honestly speaking, the man, he outdid himself. But he go hear him. He go hear him because he has no friends now. He's enemies with both sides. The people that are laughing with him right now, they will be the ones, they are known to throw people under the bus first. They will throw him under the bus and his crush will be so bad. All right, let me come back to you, distinguished, the general.
So I'm so sorry, man. Now so it be for my house. Children, no, they
It's
allow
fine, it's
person.
fine. They're not gonna
They
allow you
no go
make you
allow
be
you to
APC. They're not
any
gonna allow you
make
APC
now
chairmanship
I they
again.
run enter toilet. My talk make person no bother me. So talking about this BBC article, I think a lot of obedience have become too paranoid that they're dismissing a lot of information that could actually help our movement. And we also have to be, patient. It's not, I don't think every article out there has an agenda, or everyone hates us, or everyone is after us. I don't even think we should be attributing any form of knowledge or a higher intelligence to APC, thinking that they came up with this. Who would go and hire someone from BBC to come and publish an article that is definitely going to damage their reputation in court? This BBC article actually proves what we already know. It's not like they are the first people to publish it. Vanguard did, what is it, Sahara Reporters, Punch, and so forth. These articles are,
Premium time.
huh?
Premium
Yes,
times
Premium
also.
Times. They have all reported. I have actually posted. I think I posted one last week where I was comparing this. Premium Times first posted that Tinubu won on March 1st, and then they came back again and said, "Okay, Tinubu did not win. Obi won. Here's what we found." But we also have to look at the people, the information before us, right? These people went through the IREV, the same IREV we've been criticizing, the same IREV that Obi and Labour Party published in a petition that was filled with errors. Like there's not even a lot of information, useful information on that IRF. We have screenshots of nothing, blurry images, white backgrounds, pictures of human beings, pictures of physics exams, and so forth. So combing through all those files to get one or two results here and there, just so that they can build the data to say, look at what will be got in this area or got. I think that's a huge commitment and work, and we must applaud that. And the reason I'm saying this is because we also have our own country media. BBC is British Broadcasting Corporation. It's not a Nigerian company. They have a budget that they work with, and I don't think any of us here are donating for them to come to Nigeria and start checking our. In fact, it's not even their priority based on what has been going on in the world. But we, as Nigerians who know exactly what happened in this election, would obviously want people to see it through our lens. But it doesn't mean that everybody is going to report it in that manner. The most important thing here is that they have proven again, this is a foreign media company telling us that yes, based on the nonsense information, that's based on the rubbish that is on IREV. Even though if we had more, you would see that Obi knocked off Tinubu entirely on all the polls. But based on this rubbish available, Obi still won Rivers State. And not only did they publish this and comb through everything, they also went ahead and investigated the man who announced the result. And this is I was actually blown away because this is my first time of knowing what happened in this. The report said that this particular man, what is his name, Dr. Dixon, um, something who might not even be a real doctor. This is the man that announced the result, right? This man came out and announced the result that for Tinubu that should be in 10,000 plus, and then he went and inflated it like times three, right in front of the camera, in front of everybody, and nobody noticed. That's like, it just makes you wonder, how many more places did this happen? Like right under our noses. We were busy shouting IREV, IREV, IREV. We're busy shouting Mahmoud, Mahmoud. And somebody looked at the camera and called out a number that is not in front of them. And also mathematically deducted number from Obi right in front of everybody. You see? So this kind of criminality is something that we must continue to call out. And it is beneficial to the case in court. It's very beneficial to Obi's case. Whether they choose to tender it as an evidence or at least as a backup of claim, or whether the court accepts it or not. At least, if this happened in Rivers State, and this is the way this particular Dr. Dixon did this scam in front of everyone, and he's nowhere to be found, then it is left for us Nigerians. It is left for us Nigerians to go and do more digging. I expected us to be calling out this Dixon man, but no one is doing that. What I'm hearing is people talking about, oh, there's an agenda. CNN, BBC wants to, whitewash, maybe remove INEC or absolve them from blame. No, they mentioned INEC. What INEC did was try to hide this Dixon man. They tried to protect him by saying that they did not want BBC to gain access to him. BBC still went ahead to find him on Facebook. All this thing was in the article. Which Nigerian journalist went through all that step when they were even checking for Rivers State? They went to find the man on Facebook, and they finally found him, tried to contact him, but the man, of course, refused to. They went to the school where he said he worked, and the man was not, and they said they don't know who he is. Whether they are telling the truth or lie, the fact is that somebody made effort to get to the root of this Rivers State issue. It's left for us. BBC have thrown a bone to us. It's left for us to pick up from there and continue that investigation, if at all we want to. And we can look at any other states we want to. But we cannot just keep dismissing important articles like this. This is investigative journalism. It is journalism. It is. They tried. Yeah, they are telling you that based on the information, it's not enough for whatever, for B to win or what. That is irrelevant. They are not the court. They don't work for the appeals court. It's still an article. It's still a report. This is their own. I mean, if you look at the names of the writers, there are 3 people credited on the article, right? And maybe they are all Nigerians, or maybe 2 out of 3 are Nigerians. But this is what they feel based on me itself. The rubbish on IREF is not even enough to prove anything reasonable. What are you going to prove with a physics exam? Who are you going to credit for that polling unit? What are you going to prove with a picture of a young woman holding a beaver to take a selfie? What are you going to prove with a whiteout result? We have to be very, very patient and at least be reasonable when we're trying to push away. We've been crying since last year, asking international media to report about Tinubu, to do this, to do that, and they're starting to do it. Whether they are late to the party or they started early, the most important thing is that somebody is talking about it. If BBC is publishing it, then other big companies are going to look at it. Who knows? New York Times might pick up the mantle. Last week it was the last 2 weeks, this company on Twitter that kept dragging them all over and over. You know, the point is that people are hearing us, but they also cannot just come out and start screaming or doing hashtags like we do. They have to give the people something based on, what's available to them. And also, they don't want to have to mislead anyone. So I'm not a fan of the British. I'm not. I always condemn them when I see something that doesn't look right. I will be the first to shout it out. But when we see something that is at least done with good intentions, I think we should applaud that and not get so paranoid to the extent that we start to even scare ourselves. We are obedient and we control the narratives. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what two people read. And let me tell you what happens on social media. This article came out. An obedient read it and said, wow, this is a very good article. Wow, I didn't see this thing. I didn't even know there's somebody called Dixon. Oh my God. So there's something like this that has been happening, right? Then Tinubu supporter read the same article that you and I are reading and went to the bottom and pick out the last sentence and say, if he said that this thing does not mean that Obi won the election, why are you allowing these people to get into your head with this kind of nonsense? That is not the point. Take what you want from the article, take the most important information, and then discard the rest. That's how you sieve information on social media. Take the one that matters. Take the fact, the one you can prove, the one that has the image and all the information that is meaningful to your cause, and then discard the rest. Why should you allow a sentence discourage everything you've been doing? We have a trial tomorrow. The judge has not said anything. Nobody has said that our case is invalid because of BBC's article. So why are you people focused on what BBC read when you should be focusing on the main issue in front of you? I beg, I don't want to hug Mike too much, but obedience, even those following me, this is why I blocked all APC supporters, because I don't want to see their nonsense. I am somebody that when I'm all in, I'm all in. I'm 100% or 0%. I know they do half and half. If I'm all in for the obedient movement, I'm all in. And if I don't want to be, I will not even see anything. And because I hate APC so much, I make sure I'm down to -0. If there's anything like that in mathematics nonsense. Because if I keep seeing it, it starts to mess up with my psyche. It starts to change my mood. It starts to make me doubt myself. But I know, generally, I know they doubt herself. Now, waiting there in my mind, I go talk. And if I tweet, I make heaven fall. And I want you guys to carry on with that spirit. Stop letting anything distract you. BBC can write what they want. Bloomberg can write what. New York Times, India Times, whatnot. The most important thing is that our mandate must be reclaimed. And that is what our focus is. Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Man,
very much, General. Okay, Otumayo, go on, please.
so she sort of summarized what I was trying to say, where like, and I know you also share that same sentiment. Some of it where it's like there's not see that statement that he said this reverse result will not change the outcome of the election. It's actually factual. Like that's the struggle I have, where I'm like, it's not. Sometimes, see, I get it there. Where, and believe me, I've been down this rabbit hole. I remember Joseph Kony. See, sometimes you fall into a rabbit hole where you start to second guess every, like, it clouds your mind that you can't even think clearly anymore. Where you see what is white, you start telling yourself this is black, because APC psychological game has worked on you to where things that they will read and be worried about, you read and start saying, these people have said their propaganda. I'm like, I'm not like what General does. What she's saying is exactly what I do. I'm like, wait, just pause, because we're quick to just wait. Bloomberg, yes, Bloomberg went after Tinubu, but you know that Bloomberg article has not really changed. Doesn't affect the court case. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, those people will write whatever they, even if APC is paying them, they will write what they write. The ball still lies in the court of the judiciary. It's still down to those judges. I think that's where my focus. I'm like, at the end of it all, it's not down to Sunak or Biden or Putin. It's down to those judges, those ones sitting at the appeal court and the Supreme Court. It's still those guys that will determine whether we have a constitution or not. And that's where, so it's not as if I believe or think BBC is not. I don't care. They're irrelevant. And also, I understand that we've been used to so much bad journalism where it's a Nigerian nature to doubt everything. We doubt even for work. Doubt Nigerians doubt everything, and I get it. We're a product of our environment. I understand, but at some point, man, we just have to focus on what's real and what's in front of us, and just push it through.
All right, thank you very much. But I think you just echoed what General was saying, and me too. I said something similar. I said like in an article that have 1,000 words, you now take 200, and you leave out the 800 that favors you and focus on the 200. That means you're not doing yourself a favor. And if you look at it from that angle, so you now see that I said my own is that you cannot begin to see that there's a pattern. If Rivers State was rigged and it has been acknowledged that Rivers State was rigged, that means other places were also rigged. So it's not left for us to now do our own job also and open up everywhere. So you cannot tell us that in 36 states, they only rig Rivers State. It's not possible. The rigging happened everywhere. They stifled our votes across the country. They were dragging. PDP and APC got to a point where they were saying, who rig pass? Who go steal LP vote pass? And it got to a point where they could not steal and they had to now come to the and say, okay, let's just end it this way. Everybody take your own. So when we break it down to other states, you now see that Akwa Ibom, Peter Obi did not lose Akwa Ibom, he did not lose Bayelsa, he did not lose Benue, he did not lose Taraba, he got 25%. He got 25% in Ogun State, in Gombe State, in so many states in the country, he got above 25%. So, but it is important that right now, honestly speaking, you guys open my eyes to a very different prism on this conversation. But thank you guys. Let's keep the conversation rolling. Let me bring in my brother here, Sir Vic. Good evening, my bro. How are you doing today, sir?
Thank you, Saddam. Thank you, Tumba. Thank you, General Luchi. I think you guys actually kind of x-rayed everything that I wanted to say. And let me just add another point to that. For those that are arguing the effect of, the result of Rivers State couldn't have changed the outcome of election. That sentence is actually true. That 200,000 K votes, right, couldn't have, based on what INEC announced, cannot actually swing the election. That statement was actually only with respect to Rivers State alone. They didn't say other states, and so I just wanted to understand that. So when we're trying to kind of dissect some of these grammatical postulations, let's make sure that we look at it from the entirety of the article, right? And Otuma said something that is very critical, which is that we live in a society where people doubt every single thing because of where we are coming from. And I believe that article that BBC published yesterday, to me, it was spot on. There is nothing to argue about it. It was just a spot on article, and if we begin to question every single thing that is coming out, from some of these international media, we are going to be losing our sanity.
Samik, my problem is not even questioning. My problem is we don't stop at questioning. We just suddenly say, oh, Tinubu has paid for them. Like, so we start to make APC these very, very smart, long-term thinking, these political puppet master that control world media. Like, we are creating a persona for this guy unintentionally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the truth is that what we need to understand is that for BBC publishing that article alone, and if you look at the title of that article, is actually zeroing about the manipulation of the election. It's when you open the article that you start seeing that they were referring to only one state, right? So the truth is that for them to publish that in 2 days to the hearing of the same presidential election, to me, they are trying to put the judges on notice that, look, an international media have done their own investigation from one state, and they have discovered that the election was highly manipulated. If you read that article very well, you see they were using strong words. They were using, when they were saying that P2B's vote were drastically reduced. Those were strong words that they used in that article. So you would understand that, they were trying to send some signal. And this kind of align with what the U.S. Secretary of State did day before yesterday by putting out that notice that they've actually sanctioned some people. They actually placed some people on visa ban, right? So all these things you guys need to connect the dot. If you guys are saying that, oh, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going around doing all this, Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not even have that political capital right now. He doesn't even have that international goodwill. He doesn't have it at the moment. We need to understand that. That international goodwill that we are saying, oh, he doesn't have it. If he had it, a lot of people, should have congratulated him by now and tell him, oh, we are going to be working with you. We need to understand that. What this international media are doing for us, first of all, read it carefully, you will understand that what they said there is correct. Until they do the analysis in other states to identify the number of votes that were taken away from Labour Party, we need to understand that. To me, this is the international media building a case on behalf of Peter Obi. They are building a case for him. Based on the account that they have, investigation that they've done, that Peter Obi won Rivers State by a lot margin, is building case for Peter Obi. You guys need to understand it. They are building the guys have done their investigation on Rivers State. Nobody knows how many other states they are doing the investigation on. They are going to be putting the report. You guys are not even understanding that one. Nobody knows how many other states they are doing the investigation on, and later they will put out their result. So don't be quick to rush into conclusion to say, okay, why are they not? No. These guys are just doing us a favor, and we need to understand that. The truth is that if you look at what is going on now and the timing of when it's coming, I strongly believe that they are building a case for us. There is something cooking behind the scene. They are building a case for us, and we should not just wish it away. Rather, let's amplify it. In fact, I believe we should be calling out INEC at this moment, because INEC cannot claim that they do not know the guy that announced that result in Rivers State, that Dixon of a person. They cannot claim that, because the guy didn't fall from the sky.
Sabi, God bless you. We should have spent this last few hours training Mahmoud. Should tell us
exactly
who the INEC, the Rivers State INEC chairman is. Like, me, I just refuse to believe that. I don't know. Maybe I might be. We are a few of us on this island. That Bola Tinubu is so powerful that it controls the British media and the U.S. Secretary of State, Department of State. I see. If that is true, then we are fucked.
Who said it controls British media?
No, because people have, because there's this innuendo that the U.S. visa ban is just APC playing their long game, so they send us to distract obedience, and then BBC is also distracting obedience. I'm like, wait a minute, if Bola Tinubu is that powerful that he can get the U.S. Department of State to act on his behalf, and the media arm of the British government, the African, to act on his behalf, then we are fucked. Do you get what I'm going to? Like, I don't want to create this. We are getting this guy. I think X used to say it, where X usually likes to downplay APC's intelligence, and it's intentional, because it's like we're giving him this persona, like, is this all powerful manipulator that is manipulating? We understand he runs Nigerian media, but then we've taken it to the UK, and then we're also going to US Department of State. Like, that's where, like, I'm like, at some point, okay, let's go back to who we are fighting. INEC, the federal government, Bola Tinubu and co.
So Otuba, if you kind of dissect that article they wrote in the, you will discover that they said they even reached out to INEC headquarters to find out the reason why they should allow someone that is not contracted by INEC to announce results. The response they got is that INEC cannot speak on that matter because the matter is already in court. So I think we should have used our time proper to start calling up Mahmoud. He should tell us the reason why INEC should go ahead. They have INEC resident commissioner in every state. Why would they employ someone with an unknown identity to actually announce results? This is a criminal offense, and Mahmoud cannot claim that he did not know what happened. He cannot claim it because the guy announced it on international media, on international television. We saw it. Everyone saw it. So the question I think obedience should be asking right now, in fact, we should have made that in a case. That's actually where our anger should have gone. That why should someone that is not a resident electoral commissioner be allowed to announce a result by INEC? That's actually where I think our anger should be. Not trying to say BBC is doing it, because actually, if we actually magnify these talking points, call INEC out, they need to fish out that guy. Because obviously, a lot of things went wrong, but this one is out of the ordinary. And BBC has actually helped us to pinpoint on something that is very critical. That means who knows how many fake resident commissioners that INEC hired around the country to announce all these fake results. Nobody knows. So let's try to learn to channel, our anger where it should be, rather than, going after frivolities. Thank you so much.
Also, it also explains why, is it Bauchi or Gombe has the same exact number of votes? Like, Because now that Field Marshal said that, like, I'm not thinking that, wait a minute. So even those things they publicized, and those people that were reading those results in those rooms, how are we even sure they were INEC officials? Like, how do we
Exactly.
even know, how do we know who are those people reading those results, telling Mahmoud those results? Because we have the list of INEC or the election, we have the list, but we don't know their names and their faces attached to each other. Who was the person that was in that? Because I don't think we've ever turned our attention to that to say, wait a minute. Yes, it was on TV, but who were those reading the results to him? Were they actually, is it the same
And
exact name?
Otumba, if you try to connect the dot, you will discover that that's exactly the reason why Mahmoud was saying, if anybody mentions something, can you halt this? You know, there's friction somewhere. The way they're announcing it, he said no, wait until, because this is all a ground plan. He knows all these guys. He knows they contracted people that are not honest stars. We should be on Mahmoud's matter, not BBC, please. That's where we should direct our anger. They should provide that guy that announced that result, and we should kind of, put our noses on ground to find out if such a thing occurred in other states. That's what we should be doing. Not BBC have done us a lot of favor to actually uncover that. Thank you. I yield the mic.
Are we even calling favor? BBC they wrote whatever they wrote. Like, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm not with BBC's side here. It's not favor, but it's just like the information they give us. How can we use it? Field Marshal, I see you raising your hand back up before I go back to
Yes.
um.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to chip something in. Can I go ahead, or you're trying to take someone else?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah,
Go.
what I wanted to say, I know we're talking about how we can use this information to our advantage. Let me just draw a quick example. I don't know if a lot of you saw this. There's this interview about this guy. I think he's an owner of this big pharmaceutical company that produced this COVID-19 vaccines that ended up not being good or harmed some people. There was this journalist, this reporter that kept following this man in a video for like over 15 minutes, following him and asking him questions. And the man refused to answer. He kept following him from block to block, asking him questions repeatedly, asking questions about the vaccine, his reaction, whether he, all kinds of questions. And I said to myself, man, that's a journalist right there. Now that we know BBC have given us a name and a picture. The picture is in the article of the man. Anybody who wants to, even a journalist that does not know where to start, can go and find that man where he is. Go and find him. Stand in front of his house and follow him and ask him, Oga, why did you do this? Mr. XY, Mr. Dixon, please tell people with a camera. Mr. Dixon, and do you work for this company? Mr. Dixon, are you a doctor? This school said you don't work for them. These people said they don't know you. INEC is denying you. Can you tell people why you mentioned the wrong result? What are you? Talk to them. You don't have to touch him. You don't have to harass him. It's a question, and it's totally done in any part of the world. You understand? So these are the things we should focus on. We like I said, BBC threw a bone to us, and we have to run. We have to take it. We have to find ways to turn it to our advantage. Even the obese legal team can even put this man in as part of their witnesses if they're planning to call one. We need to find that video on YouTube. I've been combing through YouTube all morning as much as I can. I'm looking for that video where he made that announcement that BBC is talking about. I have watched all kinds of videos, but I'm still going to keep watching until I want to find the video he made that announcement on. And then I want to go and compare the result that he has. So it's a clean proof for us out there. What are we waiting for? Why are we listening to Tinubu supporters talking about Tinubu? Now they brought about Kwankwaso. Tinubu is in London with Kwankwaso. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who be Kwankwaso? Why do we care? Why do we need that information? And people are talking about it. What it concern us with Kwankwaso? We have a case in court tomorrow, and we have to do everything to build. We have a lot of evidence, but there's nothing wrong with having more. Overwhelming evidence is what we need. Overwhelming. And like someone mentioned here, even the judges read the papers. They are not aliens. They are people like you and I. They might even be in this page with an anonymous account, and you won't know. You could have one of those judges following you around on social media. You don't know. They are all here. They read, they know what's going on, they know what people are saying. But it's important to understand that when an international media gives opinion on an issue, a critical issue like this, they watch it more. They pay more attention to foreign media than Nigerian newspapers because they know Nigerian newspapers are not, writers are not serious. But when a company as big as BBC comes out and says Tinubu rigged or APC rigged the election, it's a big deal. It raises eyebrows. Everybody's going to talk. Even the British government reads BBC. So we cannot be dismissive at this stage where we are. We have come a long way. We're basically begging. If you have a better technology, if you have a better data analytics team, if you know what you can do to enter that iRev, tear it open, bring out all those hidden files, go to Amazon Web Services, whatever they are hiding in there, if you have a way to bring out those data, bring it out for us. That is what we should beg.
Yeah, don't worry. That one has been done.
No,
Since that one,
I'm
don't
just
stress.
emphasizing the importance of where we are at right now.
That's what I'm telling you. That one you're speaking of is what people have done like a month ago.
Then we have
They ground
we have to
already.
keep
So
talking
don't
about it.
stress.
Anybody that does not know what to talk
Don't
about
stress
should keep
yourself.
repeating that.
When we come out here and say that we won the elections, many of us don't come out here and say we won the elections because we want to say it. We have our facts. We have been working behind the scenes. People have been doing the hard work. As we come on spaces, people are online correlating results, doing a whole lot of hard job behind the scenes. So I have no worries about that. It's just that we need to keep speaking. We need to everything INEC changed, plus the accreditation, everything INEC uploaded that it brought down.
My last message is to the obedience listening, especially the ones that are active on social media. They should stop, because they are the ones trending all these things that APC people are posting, all this rubbish that they're using to distract them. They are the ones trending it actually. They should stop. If it doesn't matter how provocative, it doesn't even matter. Your response, they know that what they're posting is incorrect. They know that this thing is annoying, and they do it anyway so that they can get your attention, so that you can react, so that you can boost their page and get it to trend, and Twitter algorithm will pick it up and keep sharing it left and right. But you need to stop this. You need to have a restraint. If you cannot control your emotions when it comes to certain posts, block the person that is posting so you will not see it again. But you have to focus on what is more important to you, and which is that if you're actually on this social media monitoring this obedient movement issue, then that's the only follow people who follow only obedience, so that your timeline will be clean. No, they follow all these people who could just distract you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We say it all the time on the platform. Block and block and block. I think that is the way to go. Block and block and block. Go to their comment sections, find them, block them, find them. It should be a job. It should be a duty for you to be a blocker as an obedient.
Yes,
so you
block as much as you can.
You see the news you get. I honestly every day I make it a duty. I must block. If I don't block, I cannot sleep. Before I sleep, the last thing I do tonight is to block. I swear, Jimmy, don't be playing. Before I sleep, I just my phone, I could just go find. Say if Abado make tweets, I they go in this thing go reply. If I go reply, that's why they go camp under my retweets. They insult me. They go curse. You are this. They go type up for Yoruba. I'll say, I don't understand what it is, but I just block you first. Before I block, I go now block all the people like him. When I don't block all the people like him, I'll come back for morning the next day. Go check out how many people add we like. Maybe there are 10 people like. Tomorrow, at least 20 people. The remaining 10 will come. I block. So you just cleanse your timeline. So when I start making my tweets, I see that I have less Abado engagement. You don't see that your timeline is cleansed. Honestly speaking, I've got 3,000 vote block list right now. So it's important you keep blocking as obedient. Some argument or to my shock. I don't reach 3K. I said before election will reach me. I will
hey, Saddam not they catch up with me. Saddam not they catch up with me.
I said I go pass you. You go see how. You go confirm. I must pass you. I go pass you on this blocking.
Saddam,
this for your sanity, honestly.
If you are looking for Agbados to block, just go on Mazi space. Oh my goodness. Now that place now den.
No, I don't block Mazi.
Just go. Hey, you see Mazi space and just open them. You go. It's a perfect place for a blocking spree. You could just go.
I don't block them. I don't even see the space. I don't block them. Sorry, I don't follow them. So I don't even see the space. I don't even no. There's some places where I really stress yourself. Don't stress. Just go to Tinubu's mention. If you're less busy, you say you don't get work, go to Tinubu's mention. If you have 10,000 likes with like in tweet, block 1,000 instead of 10,000. You will see how fulfilling it is. It is very easy. I'm telling you. Free yourself, free your mind. And if you want to read, please, Parent Facts is open. We have big news, breaking news on our platform today. Please go on the Jumbotron. Please retweet everybody out there. Please, if you even those that don't used to read, I know, help us and retweet our stories, please. It helps us get the traction. Probably retweeting for one or two people that read so that they can read also. Thank you very much for those that are reading. Oh, those that are not reading, please retweet. Please. You can hear no plenty Nigerians. We don't like to read. So, but please help us retweet, share the stories on your social media, share our stories. I think we're active on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Telegram. We are everywhere. We're on TikTok. We are everywhere. Parent Facts, please support the hard work these people are doing there. Support them. Let's get it going from there. All right, let's go back to our
I think you Maxwell.
our amazing you see Maxwell.
You don't use the way blind me.
Blessing the in one go toilet.
Oh yeah, you see Maxwell.
Good evening. The thing we say, you know, say they always guys come outside for where network they can't listen most times. So I won't go back house. I don't be hungry. That's why I say make I wave hand more and give me mic, make I speak. So anybody way I jump for line, I beg. I apologize plenty. For I've been the laugh because of when you they talk about even if you know they read. For people like us, we no like to read. My second name na Sudoku. We just buy books for the beauty of books, keep it in our shelf, and just smile every morning when we see it. I don't like to read, so we did the retweet gang. Now what we go they do? Saddam, good evening. Otumba, good evening. It's been a wonderful conversation out here. Jimmy, my senior elder, wonderful brother, I celebrate you plenty. So I've enjoyed the conversation all through. I did office when I started listing and all, but you know, some of the things that we say here, we may not understand how far these conversations go. We may not understand how these conversations leave Twitter spaces and find its way into our various houses and into several media spaces. So let us keep the conversation going. God will help us. First of all, happy birthday to my brother, Dr. AI. I celebrate you once again. Happy birthday. So, into the conversation proper. Afterwards, what's her name again? General Oluchi said, I began to ask questions, and these are some of the questions that we should actually ask. That is there any law that mandates INEC to choose only lecturers of the universities of tertiary institutions? Is it just a policy that was made? Is it a law that was made? Is it just something that is not really on pen and paper and it is an agreement that, okay, let's just choose these people for whatever reasons? Then after we have asked that question, if our answer is yes, if our answer is no, we now need to ask, if indeed these events took place in Rivers State, what is the possibility that it also took place in several other places? So there is a call for research. There is a call for questions. Who are the people that announce results in other places? So if there is a law that says, okay, it must be lecturers of tertiary institution, this is a ground that INEC has also violated among several laws that they have violated. Now, let us just take a quick look into it. I made a quick search. On February 9th, 2023, Professor Mahmoud, in a meeting with vice chancellors of all of universities, they held a meeting in Abuja here. He said, and I quote, for the various collation and declaration centers, the commission draws the required collation and returning officers from the academic staff of our universities, including the vice chancellors who serve as returning officers for the governorship election and state collation officers for the presidential election. This is what he said in a meeting with vice chancellors of universities here in Abuja. Now, subsequently, a few days later, on February 16th, 2023, Festus Okoye was being interrogated by journalists in Umuahia in Abia State when there was a WhatsApp message.
Are you there? Oh, sorry.
Network go on, come off.
Please, can you hear me?
Go on.
Everything doesn't drop on off. Go on, you see Maxwell.
Okay, sorry, I received the call. So, journalists interrogated Festus Okoye in Umuahia, Abia State, regarding that rumor that was making the rounds. And he said, I also quote, INEC has never said it was not going to use university lecturers as collating and returning officers. Most of our presiding officers are corps members. Most of our assistant presiding officers are students of federal tertiary institutions in their penultimate year.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, please. Sorry for the interruption. So, from where I was reading, it says our collation and returning officers will come from lecturers from federal tertiary institutions. We have had a meeting with vice chancellors of federal universities that are involved. Now, I've read for you two statements, verbatim, quoted. One of the professor, the chairman of INEC, and one of the national commissioner of INEC, agreeing that everybody who is going to be collation and returning officers are going to be from, tertiary institutions. So we should now keep asking, keep making research. Were these guys really from these particular places? Are there laws that back these things that they said, so that we can interrogate it the more? Now, to round up what I'll be saying, I want to link all I want to say. And one thing we should ask INEC to do is that INEC should provide information regarding the Rivers guy, and then the vice chancellor that listed him, from which university he was listed from. Now, you would want to know that every lecturer that was listed for this job was listed by their vice chancellors from different universities. So INEC should provide the vice chancellor that listed him and the lecturer or the school where he lectures. To round up my conversation, I want to refer to what this young man said in the person of, what's his name? This senior advocate. Festus Keyamo. Now, Festus Keyamo posted a tweet very recently talking about the need for us to checkmate fake news and all of that. Let me say this very clearly because it has something to do. We've been talking about BBC and all of that. Now, the label of fake news is increasingly being used by persons in positions of power to denigrate and intimidate the media and independent voices, increasing the risk of such persons to threats of violence and undermining public trust in the media. You may want to know that Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and also Article 19 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights have made everything that regards fake news to be a redundant issue, because there is the provision for the freedom of expression, not only guaranteed by these international documents, also by our national documents. It would interest you to know that these guys that are saying that we should do law against hate speech have failed to refer to Section 59 of the Criminal Code. I will tell you what Section 59 says. Section 59 of the Criminal Code provides that every false information that is given by any person, that person will be punished for it. Let me quote it verbatim. It says, any person who publishes or reproduces any statement, rumor, or reports which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public or to disturb the public peace, knowing or having reasons to believe that such statement, rumor, or report is false, is guilty of a misdemeanor and liable on conviction to imprisonment for 3 years. My brothers and sisters, if the Criminal Code and the Penal Code have punished false information with a term of 3 years, why do these guys keep telling us of the need to create laws to punish fake news? Ask yourself these questions. It's not because they are interested in actually punishing fake news, but because they use it to gag you and I, to gag the media, to denigrate every sanity we have in the media. Because, we cannot keep hearing these things every day. And tomorrow, we will see people who are in the legislative arm of governance passing bills. We saw it with the hate speech bill, with a lot of things that they've done in the legislative arm of governance. I want our eyes to be open, my brothers and sisters, not only on INEC, not only on the executive, on the legislative arm of governance, on the judiciary, each and every one of those arms that leads Nigeria. We need to open our eyes and question all of their actions, every one of their actions. The judgments by the courts, we scrutinize them. The laws by the legislature, we scrutinize them. The dictates by the executive arm, we scrutinize them to make sure that they are not actually caging us in a point where we become their parrots. We only make noise in cages and we are not able to fly freely. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. Good evening to everyone, and God bless you. Thank you for the good job.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Eternal vigilance is the anthem. Eternal vigilance, everybody. And I just say I want to give a big shout out to all of us, because when we say all these things and we come up here and we push ourselves, we should not forget that this whole vigilance we are doing today now is barely 3 years old. It started from October 20th. We never understood as a people that we yield the power to hold our government responsible. We have always allowed politicians, just do what you want to do, run this country amok, do it anyhow, and you have your way, and you come back and you see a man that come out and say he wants to be the Senate president. He wants to be a Senate president of Nigeria, and his state is one of the worst states in Nigeria. There is, you see the audacity of these politicians. It is we now as a people coming out to hold them responsible. Let them know that gone are those days where you just come out now and you do anything and you just win because you have political structure. In 10 months, we killed that term political structure. We have proven that power truly resides with the people, even with all the rigging. So thank you, my brother. I think eternal vigilance is a key word for all of us as a takeaway from your submission. All right, let's go back. Let's take a lady right now. Let me bring in my sister Ure. Ure, good evening. You have the space. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, Saddam. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Saddam, Otumba, Sizo, Jimmy. I think at some point we may need to change Jimmy before he puts all of us in trouble. I don't get Jimmy. Anyways, so let's go to the topic. So I'll start by looking at UK and US. I think these countries are playing it safe, right? They're trying to play both sides. That's what exactly this is. Can you guys hear me clearly? It's raining in my end. So I don't know if I'm
go on.
Yes, perfectly.
okay.
Continue, please.
All right, thank you. So I feel that they're playing both sides. They're just trying to be cautious, right? They have their worlds cut out at the moment with China, Russia, modding up waters for them using BRICS, So this is just an effort to get towards political correctness for them. And if you hear or listen to Saddam, the pride in his voice just some seconds ago when he was speaking and talking about how, things have changed and forever would remain so with this movement that we started just a year ago and how far we have come. I feel that the gains of the political awareness heralded by political reorientation that we have seen in the Nigerian political space is amazing, and thanks to the obedient movement. And before this time, so this is some of the gains that we have recorded. Before this time, the US would usually have POTUS. POTUS is the President of the United States of America. You would have POTUS directly calling to congratulate the president in some cases, send a message, something. But Tinubu hasn't gotten that, and that's what the upset and the unsettlement that we have seen in his camp, frantically begging, for that congratulatory message that hasn't come yet. Blinken some days ago coming out as well to say, there's been a list of political stalwarts in Nigeria being on a visa ban, placed on a visa ban. And I think that the fact that the list, let's look at this part now. The fact that the list was not released, I think is something. It's also a win. Now, this is how it's a win. Nobody knows if their names are on that list or not. I don't know about you guys, but I hate to look over my shoulders. I hate to be uncomfortable. I hate uncertainty. I understand that in the real world, uncertainty can be, a weight for development. Sometimes uncomfortable situations, herald development. I know that, but this is not an ideal circumstance. So that list not being released, I think it's beautiful for us, because now you don't know if your name is on the list, and then the parts where are they still watching? Should I do this? Should I not? That cautiousness, that a thief has sometimes has involuntarily sent a message to Nigeria's judiciary, re-echoing our voice as the obedience, that voice that we have tagged eyes on the judiciary. So now it's not just us, it's now open that the international community are also watching. And then UK's Katrina Ling and Rishi Sunak. Katrina said something. She said, we should be proud of the elections. And at some point she recanted. She walked back on her statement, leaving Rishi Sunak as the lone wolf in front. I do not know what Rishi's political ambitions are, but I do hope that he understands that there's something called white privilege. In fact, simply put, there's something called Caucasian privilege. He doesn't have that. And I hope that he understands that they may just use him as the fall guy. And then so for the BBC and the expose, okay. So I feel that BBC is an extension of the UK government. And if you look at the UK government now, you will ask, what do they have? What does UK have as a country? Nothing but a shaky monarchy, falling allegiance of Commonwealth countries, the transitioning from a queen to a sun king. No disrespect. That's exactly what it is that is going on with the UK right now. America seems their only buffer. And if you look at America, America is also seeking air. Look at all the issues with China and Russia. So what is the UK actually known for? They need to maintain chaos in Africa to be able to benefit. And so, and I feel rightly so, because every country is looking out for themselves. Nigeria should learn to do same. So one of our take-homes from today's church service, one of the take-homes I would have today would be, let's cross that entitlement mentality. Oh, they didn't do enough. Oh, let them check Plateau State for us. Oh, let them check here and check here and check here. We have journalists here as well. Thank God for parallel facts. So maybe we can start to look at these things for ourselves, right? And then I'll tell you some of the gains from that post that BBC made. I didn't think it was anything more than a post, because the information was out there already. It was an open secret. So one of that is an indictment on INEC as a body, on Mahmoud Yakubu. Yakubu cannot wriggle his way out of this, because the Ariaga guy, if you say that he was a foreign body, are you saying that your organization, after giving you over 300 billion naira, was infiltrated in this manner? On notice, like a submarine, you couldn't pick out an impostor. And he came on and announced election results, and he stood and you stupidly announced it yourself, right? So I think the easy thing to do, the most dumb thing that he would do, is to come out and say he doesn't know the guy. I think the only thing to do is to say you know him and push him to take the fall. That's the only option here, because, and that's another win for us, because that's the tight corner that this BBC post has put them in. Another win for me would be that the election results were manipulated. We've been shouting on top of our voices since after the elections that, oh, the results were manipulated. And we kept asking ourselves, who will hear us? Who should we talk to? Who will notice us? But now the election results were actually manipulated. And in the same breath, they're saying, oh, it's not enough to overturn the results. Bullshit. Because you are also telling the world that you checked just one state of 36 states and FCT, alluding to the fact that there could be more, right? And then the investigations as well is handy, as it has also, I feel, laid the groundwork for subsequent investigations. So now all we need to do for people who want to do it is trace the returning officers, quiz them, run background checks on them, returning officers, ward officers. To be honest, these people truly don't care about the APC. The APC has no manifesto ideology. They don't have anything. So there's zero passion or enthusiasm from these people. They got paid, ties are severed, nothing binds these people with them anymore. So it will be easy to pick gaps. And then these people will always leave trails as well if you push them. And then we would also remember, as we don't rate BBC, as we don't rate the UK, BBC is also still a voice on the global scene. So this is a good thing for us, right? And so down to Bats, I think it was Savik that was talking when he said Bats does not have goodwill. He doesn't have goodwill at all, actually. I think he's handicapped on the global scene. It's a plague that he's a plague that no one wants to associate with for fear of being stained, staying safe enough for allegiance. The allegiance that he's looking for, he will not say it. And then to Sheung Kuti, before I round off, Sheung Kuti this is the portable syndrome. He has put them, he's a federal government liability now. He has put them in a fix. Now they're trying to protect Sheung and also appearing to maintain law and order, to be seen to have their acts in order. So that's exactly what Sheung has done, to the Nigerian government. So we're also watching that space as well, guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you. Always a pleasure to have you on the platform too. Thank you. All right, guys, let's move on real quick. Another chairman don't come. Well, chairman, your results will be announced on at the end of this piece. Please, guys, as I said,
Which result again?
Now for you, the original, the P2B of the APC. P2B of the APC is here. P2B of APC chairman. Who dropped him? You can't drop him. Who dropped him? Okay, Chief Jerry is here. Okay, he's here. Before I come to you, Chief Jerry, he came last, so follow. P2B likes stay for line, so you stay in the line, eh? Let me come to GK. May GK might be here for the longest. We take it a guy and a lady, that way we accommodate everybody. GK, you have the space, please. 5 minutes. Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, Emir Saddam, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're spacing from. It's been a brilliant space so far. most of the people that have given their submissions have made it really spot on. But I think going straight into the BBC expose on what the travesty that happened in Rivers State goes to let us know particularly that, these guys actually raped our democracy right before our eyes. And letting Professor Mahmoud out of this hook will mean that we actually do not have any democracy in Nigeria. I keep saying it that at some point, consequences for bad actions must have to come up so that a lot of people will learn. So just like some
AGK was struggling with your network. Right? AGK was struggling with your network. I don't know if you are.
That's
AGK, can you hear me?
Okay.
AGK, can you hear me? AGK, please go fall back down and come back up. I'll bring you back immediately up. Please fall back and come back up. Let's go to Prince Savior. You have the space, please. 4 minutes. Thank you. AGK, fall back and come back, please. Prince Savior, are you there?
Bro, Saddam, I beg, I just see one picture now. They say Peter Obi dey London. He go Dele Momodu birthday. Say, they call the one that say, no be this guy who they say they deport from London be this.
Like spirit man, be there.
APC, I ain't it by the. He
Like
dey London.
man.
They say they deport him. He dey London right now. I won't really.
Like
Back to
spirit
you
man,
guys.
they London. Yeah. Prince
Who is
Savior, are you
next
there?
speaker?
Prince Savior, are you there? Going one, going two, going three, gone. End bad politics. You have the space. Good evening, bro.
Yeah, good evening, Saddam. Am I clear?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Let's talk about this BBC issue. If we can remember, in 2015, I made a tweet a couple of days back. I said that how Nigerians left a PhD holder in Goodluck Jonathan and we elected a man that was struggling to provide his Wike certificates would be a mystery. And this is why, if you look at the way other African countries, they look at us, some of all those our decisions, they look at it and they wonder, like, how did we leave a PhD holder and we now elected a man that was struggling to produce his Wike certificate? It's the power of the media. And that was what APC used in 2015. They created a narrative, they kept on pushing it, and Nigerians bought into that narrative. This River State issue started with Premium Times. Premium Times posted that news more than 10 times. For a news outlet to post a particular news more than 10 times, it tells you that there's an agenda. They saw Nigerians did not take notice of the news. When Tinubu went to London, it was this same BBC that interviewed him. So we cannot say, oh, Tinubu does not have links with BBC and things like that. If you feel that way, fine. Those that feel the other way, they have every valid reason to feel that way because Premium Times picked on River State for so long. Nigerians ignored it. Why is it that it's still the same River State that BBC out of the 36 states picked on? I believe personally that Lagos State was one of the most reported states in terms of bigotry, in terms of issues, in terms of irregularities.
Lagos State was top burner. One would have expected that if a foreign news outlet wanted to like pick a particular state, it would have been Lagos, because they would want to report on the intrigues and all those things. Left for me, it's not coincidence that the news, Rivers, Premium Times picked up.
But let me ask you a question. What state of obedience shouted the most about rigging?
The state that obedience shouted the most about rigging.
Yes. What state, right from the beginning? What state, if you list one, if we talk about every
No,
state
definitely.
election.
No, definitely it was Rivers State.
So you just saying that because a news outlet
But
posted
Atumba, we also shout Lagos. So
Wait
we
now.
also, now even media
I
shout
didn't say
Rivers
okay.
Pass.
First of all,
finish.
I didn't say what
Otuba, let
state.
me
I
finish.
said what state have we shouted the most. I didn't
Wait,
say
let me
what
finish.
state have we
now.
shouting.
You would understand where I'm coming from. Relax, right? Like I said, if you are saying it's nothing, your point is valid.
No, it's not. I'm not saying it's nothing. I
Yeah,
hate when you're tying. You're saying the reason why you believe it's an agenda is because a news outlet posted it 10 times. We run a news outlet. We post news multiple times. Do we have an agenda?
Okay,
It's my
wait.
point. I don't like when.
Wait, let me finish now. If you read the report, right? Let's say, for example.
Also, please, is what they posted a lie?
Wait,
See, that's what I want to get.
Let me
If
round
they
up.
cooked up the
Otuba,
Rivers
let
State
me round
story,
up, right? If you read the report, right, and you are a journalist, you are reporting not just on Rivers State, because you are not reporting on the governorship election of Rivers State. You are reporting on the presidential election, right? Even if you were not able to do investigation on other states because of funds and all those things, in your summary statement, you will give a general view of
you don't
what you
have
think.
to. Now, no. See, this
Wait now, let me finish now, Tumba. Let me finish now.
Atumba, let him finish.
Let me
Wait,
finish.
no. I
Let
can
me
engage him.
finish.
I can engage him.
When you are an international newspaper, right?
Have you worked for an international newspaper? Have you been
now.
read?
Oh,
Do you
God of
know? Like,
Nazareth.
see,
Otuba,
I
let
don't
me
like.
finish now. We
I
are
don't
on the
like it
same
when you now
page.
start pulling. You
Wait
now
now,
start
we are on the
making
same page now.
definite
Relax.
statements and say international have to put. They don't.
God.
Have you read stories about? Have you read They don't. It's not every time they make. If they make an article on a particular subject, they typically stick to that subject.
The subject of, if you read the headline of the article, they said missing votes, mysterious votes, right? And the subject of that article is on the presidential election. You come to a conclusion
The
saying
subject
that,
of the headline,
this,
not the
wait
article. The subject of the
now,
headline.
God of Nazareth, relax now. You came to a summary saying that, Rivers State cannot upturn the whole election, which is correct. They could have gone further to say, okay, other states had irregularities. Like when America gave their visa ban, they generalized it, saying that, they were irregularities. Nowhere in that article, they acknowledged that, they were irregularities. And if you look at the narrative that APC have been trying to prove, even INEC himself, Buhari went abroad and said that, the process was not perfect, but on a scale of 100, it is 80. And if you look at that article keys into that narrative APC. They are trying to prove that, okay, the process was not perfect, but look at the problem. The problem is in Rivers State. If you take out Rivers State out of 36 states, then there's no issue. You have to connect the dots. APC have been trying to prove a narrative. Let me just round up. Let me round up, right?
Yeah, please.
APC have been trying to prove a narrative. APC admitted that there's an issue. When you are a robbery gang and they catch you guys, all of you don't want to go down. You will look for somebody that will be your fall guy. Because it's clear that APC right now, there must be fall guy for this thing. And the easiest poor guy they can pick on is Wike. And that's the narrative they are trying to push, that, oh, there were irregularities, but it was confined to only a section. If you read that article and you are a world leader, that is what you would draw from that article. They could have generalized it and say, okay, this was where we were able to investigate. They did that thing with an intention. And this was what APC did in 2015. You can't rule off APC and say, oh, they don't have media and all these things. They painted a picture in 2015, and the Nigerians voted out a man with PhD and voted a man that did not even have Wike certificate. And the world's people today, when you interact with people, they will ask you that, how did Nigerians make that decision? I was on an African space last week, and they were making mockery of our decisions. How did Nigerians make that decision in 2015? The power of media. APC was so powerful with the media in 2015, and they are pushing another narrative again, saying that in the election there were irregularities, but it was 80 out of 100. And that is what that article did. That's my own point too. That is what that article did, saying, suiting the APC narrative. And BBC, we cannot say it's not a corrupt organization, they don't have corruption and all those things. Even if you look at all these countries, Britain and all these things, they have their own agenda. The way Nigeria is today, they are benefiting from it. They are getting oil, they are stealing our resources, China and all these countries. So you can't just rule out and say, the thing we are fighting is bigger than what
because
we can even imagine.
The line I'm trying to draw is, if we are going to now say Bola Tinubu now is using the BBC and the Secretary of State to push his, we are wasting our time in court. That's where I want us to go to. Let's see. If you're saying Bola Tinubu is using the media arm of the United Kingdom government to push his agenda and grasping at straw, bringing up 2015, you're pulling from different angles. If you go back and read the article itself, it starts, the first few lines.
Let me tell you something. David made a statement yesterday. Let me tell you something.
This is not a David statement. I'm talking about article itself.
Let me tell you what David said. David said BBC was invited for the press conference in the UK yesterday. But guess what? BBC, you are saying, is neutral.
I never said BBC is neutral.
They didn't show up for that conference.
I've never said, yeah, but you're just that's
that they are not neutral. They didn't show up for a conference that they were talking about election irregularities. That was what David said yesterday. That's to tell you that these guys are not, they are clearly playing out a script. They didn't show up for the conference. Why did BBC, a conference that was held in London, that they were invited, they were aware of, they didn't show up for the conference? So what are you going to draw from that?
So what is your concluding? What is BBC trying to do with this article now? I'm trying to get.
They are pushing a narrative.
What's the narrative?
The narrative is that the election they had issues, irregularities.
Okay.
But it's 80 out of 100.
Okay.
And that's why they picked out one state out of 36 states.
Okay.
When BBC wanted to sponsor the Zamfara, this thing, they had budget and they did a detailed reporting on what was going on in Zamfara. You cannot tell me that BBC wants to report on Nigeria presidential election
the same BBC
and they will pick only one state.
Wait, so the APC that went against APC to expose Zamfara, so the APC now is in bed with the same APC to push an agenda. Okay.
See, I just asked you a question now. Why did BBC not show
No,
up
because
for
the story. No, what I'm saying is, if you read the article clearly talks about a subject matter, which is Rivers State. The article does not say.
Okay, if BBC is not neutral, they were invited
I'm not
arguing
that. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing whether they're neutral or not.
So if you are not arguing if BBC is not neutral, then how are we not going to take the reporting that they did with a pinch of salt? Because they were invited for
No,
a conference
I'm taking it with a
yesterday.
pinch of salt. You're taking it to Bola Tinubu is using the BBC to push his agenda. Do you see where we're on? So you're creating a persona. This is where I stand different. I'm taking this as a pinch of salt. You're creating a narrative that Bola Tinubu not only controls the Nigerian media, now controls the the media arm of the British government.
See, I'm not telling you that he controls. When you use the word control,
Because the
right,
only way the
it
BBC
means
are
I
free
didn't
to
tell you
push his
that he
propaganda.
controls the whole media of BBC. People pay for articles.
And
When an
that goes
article is
that
coming
goes
out,
through
when
an
an article
editorial
wait now,
wait
when an
that goes through an
article is
editorial
coming out,
process.
right,
No,
they will
no,
reach out to
wait.
people for comments and say, "Oh, we are releasing this article concerning the elections. What are your comments?" and things like that. Then the government can say, "Okay, shape the narrative like this, push the narrative out like this." That does not mean you control the whole media.
Oh, you do, because believe me, no.
Because,
See,
like I
wait, let
said,
me explain why. Because
they were asked to
wait,
come
let me
for an
explain why.
interview yesterday,
Before
and they
articles get
refused.
released, before articles get released, especially high-profile article that opens you up to libel suits. Case in point, Fox and Dominion is it goes to an editorial board. It goes to your legal department. You don't just for news. See, maybe Nigerian news does it. Regardless of how you feel about foreign news, whether they push an agenda, they still have an editorial board and they have a legal team that goes through. They don't just release things just because they feel, oh yeah,
Do,
this
do
guy has
you
played
know
for
the way
small.
I operate? The way I operate, it is better that I overestimate my enemy, right? And prepare for that overestimation and crush my enemy times 2, right? Than I underprepare and say, "Oh, my enemy is not like this, it's not like that," and my enemy takes me unawares. That is the way I operate. If I'm going for a battle and I'm in a battle with anybody, I will overestimate you. Because by the time I overestimate you, it means that I will prepare times 2, cover all angles times 2, and crush you times 2, than to give you that, "Oh, you are not this, or you are not that, or you are not this, or you are not that." That is my own. So for those of us that are overthinking, let us remain overthinking, because we will cover all angles. We will not leave any loophole. Because like I said, these guys shaped a narrative in 2015 and they removed a sitting president that is a PhD
No,
holder.
that president was a
And we
no, that
elected
president was.
a
See,
WIEC
I don't like the
president.
20. I get what you're saying. You're right. Your observation is right. You make sense. You're right. But that 2015 is a fast stretch. Goodluck was incompetent. Boko Haram screwed up. APC also spent money and they rigged him out. That part I get. But yeah, that's a stretch. And I get the skepticism of BBC. I get it. But what I'm just saying is I refuse to buy into a narrative that Bola
Otumba,
Tinubu
let me come here.
is
I think
powerful. Mm-hmm.
both truths can exist. You refuse, you can stay with your refusal. People that do not accept your own, so it is totally me as I'm standing on the center. You can choose to think it from your own side. Fine. People that want to think it from the other side is also perfectly fine, because for me, if you underestimate your enemy all the time, you choose to just feel the no. Allow people that just feel that way, that people that are thinking this way, let them do it on their own side. May not carry their own, spoil their own. Don't carry your own and spoil their own. I think that's just leave people that think that way. Let them think for. They will help you and they will help you find out some things that probably you say, okay, you help them and calm their heart and say, don't think too much, calm down. You understand? So it is both ways, because as this movement is, many people have seen so many things in the course of this journey. So I would not want to come and use our own now and say, because you're seeing it from, you're trying to give this guy too much hype. People, they look at it and say, Tinubu is the next to devil. You understand? So people, let's just allow people believe how they feel like, and how do I put that? I think, how do I put that? Two truths can exist in NC's word. Two truths can exist. It can be that he has gone to lobby all through this period, of which we have reported on the parent facts also, that he has gone to lobby, and he has a very strong lobby person. Don't forget who Chagori is. Do not forget who Tinubu's godfather is. In all these discussions we're discussing like this, do not forget that he has a godfather. If Tinubu has a godfather, you now understand how powerful the godfather is too. So let us try to in the midst of this whole
I agree with you. I'm just saying, if that's the case, then we're fucked.
we are not what before when we entered the journey. Do you think it was going to be an easy journey? It was going to be a very difficult journey. Now it was not going to be easy. It was never going to be a easy journey. We think that we fight with another person, no another person now. So it was going to be a difficult journey. You know, so
Maybe I just don't want to create the
with
person.
us understanding.
Ourselves, we only have ourselves.
Thank you. That's we understand that we only have ourselves. I'm not expecting any hope from any other person. We are fighting this journey. We are fighting ourselves because no matter how it want to be, Britain will not come and vote for us in Nigeria. Britain will not come and declare for us in Nigeria. Britain, highest thing they can do is to use their actors. They can use as actors. Rusha Sunni, Sunita, or Rema.
That one don't go, sir. My own is
He cannot come and vote for us in Nigeria. You understand? So that's just where I'm trying to. I don't want us to balance this, allow other people come into the conversation.
No, it's fair. It's fair. I mean, it's fair. It's a fair. It's a needed conversation, and I see from his point of view. I just don't want to create a persona. I don't know. Maybe I might be wrong.
My brother, you don't create that persona. Allow people see, bro. Just allow people that if you don't create the persona, those how to create the persona, let them create it and let them fight it through that persona they're creating. But for you, your own this thing, you know what you believe in, you know how it is. You just believe what you believe and keep pushing. We are all fighting. We say all this all the time. Just like this thing now coming to like people are saying protest, people are saying no protest. We all have different agendas in this movement. Always, over as I open my mind to I understand people's approach to this movement. That's why they call us headless mob. And that's why I say I love that title, headless mob. If the mob get head, we're going to go one direction. But as a headless mob, we are going in different directions. So where we're coming from, probably that these people, when they fear, when they give out this person, I go see what thing will be, we're going to knock them down. Do you understand? So, bro, let's just understand it from that angle and allow people, let's keep the conversation really, honestly speaking. But I think end bad politics back and forth has been wonderful. People can understand that we have two different views to this whole article. And I on my own, I started my submission and I made that 100%, 80% to 20% analogy. And you came in and you supported it, but you can see their own angle also. So let us allow it flow that way. Sabi, before I come to you, let me take a lady. We'll take a lady that will come. I'll circle back to you. I think my mommy Bolande. I'd like to even know how view she's in UK there. So let's take a view from. Let's take a view from.
Then the tax money they use for the BBC.
Whether they go stop they pay tax.
Yes, somebody that pays for the TV license.
Mommy, it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes, but I'll give you 4 minutes, 30 seconds. So like, can you start?
I don't even need that much. I want to get back to my EBA. So no. I'm not talking that long. Anyway, hello everybody. To be honest, maybe because when I remember when Biden, his election back then, and for each state they would say when Republicans were like this, that, and what have you, it was rigged and what have you. And they would, and the statement that would always go out is that there wasn't enough votes to overturn the outcome. So when I read, those were the eyes in which I looked at that article. I just said to myself that, yeah, if you are to take River State on its own, then no. But of all the states, the one we made the most noise about is River State. So it stands to reason that they'll pick up on that one. So but then there's nothing stopping us from amplifying the rest. Because we kind of say, Biakro, wherever it is that place is, how, this, that. And then we say, Benue, we say, we don't actually go into the detail that we've gone through. I mean, who has done a deep dive on Benue State or Plateaus? I mean, so it's like, they are just going to pick up what they see and then run with it. And that's what they've done. In one way, I feel like it's lazy journalism because they could extend it and say, they can look at other states, but they have not done so, and I don't expect them to. Right? One thing that our vice president in waiting was saying yesterday, we don't have anybody. We don't even have the courts. We have ourselves. right? And it is what we do in terms of the pressure that would determine the outcome. And we have been doing really well, right? And so I don't want to like take it as seriously as I've heard some people take it as, yeah, we knew that we won in River State. We knew that the political rascality that Wike was involved in was, he went over the top, but okay, let us start talking about other states as well. We have been our media, we have been, the loudest voices on social media. So we know our voices carry, right? And we know that because the travel ban, which again, I don't want to know who's on the list, because that's the fact that the people don't know if they're on the list or not will make them sit up and think, oh my God, you know, because what has been happening in years past is people try and travel, and when they get to the US, that's when they know. And there's nothing sweeter than that, not being able to enter the US. My own is, when is UK going to join and say the same thing? Or are they so deep in the pockets of these money launderers and these drug barons that they can't say? After all, the Rishi Sunak's party, what has been taking funding from as a money launderer up to over £500,000. So it won't be the first time that they've taken money, from these people and perhaps can't come all the way out. Right. So, but the other thing I want to say before I get back to my EBA is that, the fact that BBC didn't come to that conference, hey, if it was me too, I won't come. They would look at who are the speakers, and whether we like it or not, these are obedient voices, right? And if we're saying these are obedient voices, right, the one thing that the British government likes to do is this, and including the BBC, is diplomacy to a certain degree. Right. If, for example, because I know there was a journalist, but I just don't know which broadcasting company or wherever he came from, right? Because he got to the end and he left. I saw him writing things down and what have you, as a white guy. But I don't know. I mean, I don't care that they went there. It's on YouTube. It's up to us to push it out there, share it on social media, let it go far, which is what we've been doing, right? We, more than anybody else, have, used social media effectively. So whilst the cynic in me can see the points of view that, it's an APC agenda, it just reminds, at the same time, I'm like, you know what? It's still an international media body, and therefore we'll take it. We'll push it out there. But in pushing it out there, as opposed to just sharing it, quote it and then say, yes, and in this state and that state, and we'll have this other states as well. If you check those states, you'll probably find the same thing. They're not going to do our job for us. We have to do our own job. So I said, we have learned that the hard way, and the thing is, we have been very effective at doing it. So I want to take it as a win. I want to take the travel ban as a win, because we have to take our wins, and even if it's like a 70% win, it's still a win. Nevertheless, the fact that it's there, we can make use of it the best way we want to, and that's what we have become good at doing, so yeah, so the rest of it, I'm getting back to my food. I yield the mic.
Thank you, Mommy. Please, I think what Otuma is trying to say is that, please, as we have this win, people shall not go enjoy this win. You people that are like dissecting to the end, you can wait after 2 days. You now come and bring out the dissection.
God bless you.
I understand where Otuma is coming from. You don't make bomb tweet to celebrate win. That one obedient with microscope. Go now see say you know put IT. You know cross me. You use capital letter I instead of T. Hey, obedience, FBI, everybody.
Wait,
Everything will not
Saddam,
scatter.
Mommy Bolanle, how are you eating eba by this time of the night? Kilo day.
What's your business? What is your
Hello.
business? That's what we used to eat in the
Hello.
night. That's what we like eating in our family in the night. Is it your problem? Are we complaining? You don't mind
No,
your
there were,
business.
I just had to. I was
But we don't
looking at
mind that. Don't
the.
mind that. That's our food. It's what we like. Don't mind that. It's our food. We don't-
No, I've enjoyed my food. Even the dog is sitting here waiting for bones. But anyway, let me go back to it.
All right. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. All right. I think that I will just read a few comments from the comment section. Selena Funaya Adebayo says, I totally disagree with this submission. I think this is definitely an overreach. So APC can control both BBC. Can't you see that there's CC, their names end with CC? APC, BBC. But Boris cannot control, but Boris Johnson cannot control, or Rishi Sunak. It is now Tinubu in Nigeria that is telling BBC. The article uses Rivers State as a case study. I think so too. It's a case study for us to now extrapolate and get more, go into other states and get a conversation rolling. Okay. Lady G says Wike in his 9,000 pound whiskey state of mind openly and proudly confessed to his crimes of stealing our mandate. That's why he will be the first scapegoat. Yes, he'll be the first scapegoat. Wike has been drinking alone for more than 5 days now. Has anybody checked on him? Omar Latika, you can check on him on our behalf. Please help check for us. Omar Latika says, end bad politics and this times too damaging planning. Now, real Zoo student is. All right.
Ignorance of power.
It is crazy. It is crazy, guys. Okay, please keep the comments. If you think, whatever you think, whatever opinion you're standing on, please go in the comment section and please let us. Jerry N says, don't give Tinubu that credit. Someone Wike rigged like it. Someone Wike rigged like a toddler. Toddler scribbling is all of a sudden controlling U.S. government. APC can never.
I don't know that Jerry is. Jerry, they don't even really cover Nigeria election properly.
Someone said, all this BBC paranoia about. Mide says, what is all this BBC paranoia about? Who are these paranoid obedient? Please, 2% conspiracy theories. Please stop it, I beg. Leave our obedience. So the FBI, that's where the FBI section is. Time to cook the Ghanaian president-elect. Oh, yes, so Tinubu is a Ghanaian president-elect. Thank you, Sister Wahala. Thank you for that. Time to cook the Ghanaian president-elect, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, Achimopong, and his member of parliament, Wike Kwabena. Wike Kwabena. Another name for Ghana, eh? Yes, that's Wike's Ghanaian name. Wike is from Ghana. Please, he's not Nigerian. All right, let me come back to our speakers. I'll be taking more comments. More. Please, guys, go on the Jumbotron. We have big stories on the Parallel Facts website. Big stories are out there. Please retweet the stories, even if you're not going to read. We have over 1,000 people on the platform. Please retweet the stories. We need at least thousands of retweets. Whatever Parallel Fact story you see, please just retweet it. If you retweet 100 stories a day, you'll not die, eh?
Not only please actually read the story.
And read the stories, yeah. Read the stories.
Yeah.
Read the stories. Serious journalism work. People are putting their works into. Please read the stories, honestly. Please, so that you can come out here and you understand why. And I understand probably that's what Tima is standing where he's standing, because he knows the amount of work these people are putting into. And he cannot just do it like that. So please, guys, read the stories. It is important to understand why we come out here and make these conversations. All right, let's go back. I think a lady just spoke. My mom just spoke, so I'll come to a guy. Let me bring in Abokina Geri, my brother. Good evening. Mutimnaya yo.
Hello, the great Emia.
Okay, how are your parents, Seth? How you doing, my brother? How are your parents?
They are doing well. Well, we are just managing actually, but Alhamdulillah, we are doing well. Thank you for asking, Otumba. I really appreciate it. Good evening to you guys. I couldn't see N6, but anyways, thank you. Well, I would like to share something I discussed with one APC stalwart today here in Kano. I won't mention his name, but I was shocked and I was surprised with the with the conversation we had about all this petition, the tribunal, and everything. What shocked me the most is he said he has never seen in Nigerian history like an inauguration that is like very, very unsure like this inauguration of May 29th. I was shocked. I asked him why. He said that he gave me one simple example. He said that all the petition against APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu are very, very straightforward. That, see, no matter how corrupt a judge is, no matter how corrupt that person is, he can never scale without giving that petition a very, very good treatment. So we were discussing, we were analyzing all this 25% in Abuja, everything. In a nutshell, guys, what I want to say now is all the things we are doing, it's like it is reflecting there in the Abadu camp. I'm telling you, because I'm surprised with the information he's getting about the obedience and what is going online and everything, the petition, the everything. He said that because like the discussion was in Hausa, like he gave me this example that just imagine someone cooking pomo with your cold water. Just imagine the patience that person has. You understand? So that's how he described the obedience. They said that they are you guys are very, very patient and following things with due process. I say, you didn't say anything. He said that all eyes on the judiciary. I'm telling you, all eyes on the judiciary. They must do the right thing. Now, all this news that is coming out, Peter Obi do this, it's all distraction. They want to distract people from the main thing, because judiciary, they have this thing in their mind. So whenever the obedience did not focus on them, the world will not even know what is going on. Tell me, how can you come out to the world and tell us that River State, for example, River State, the votes that APC got in River State, you know that they are cooked. And we have all the evidences. So the IRF has shown it, everything. So how can you come out and give judgment that Tinubu has won Rivers? You can't just do that. So what they can technically use is just technicalities, if I can say that. So all eyes on the judiciary. I think I will create this hashtag, all eyes on the judiciary. Don't ever lose focus. Honestly, I don't have much time because of the condition of my parents, to be following things. But I know that we have people that are following this thing from step to step, or everything. So we are in the safer hands. So please, guys, let's focus on this. Let's be following them. If you're in Abuja, go to the court. Okay? Let's be seeing what they are doing. At the end of the day, we shall see what they will come out and tell the world about this tribunal. But I was shocked. But maybe we'll have a private conversation with maybe either Saddam, or I'll tell you more about what we discussed with this man. Like if a national office holder in the APC. You understand? So I got the opportunity to meet him through one person like this in my area. I was shocked, I was shocked. What he was saying, he said that, look, we are going to do all what we could not to sabotage this process. And I say, you cannot do anything. I told the man, although he's an elderly person, but I told him to his face that, look, this is 21st century or 22nd century. You can't do all that kind of things that you've been doing before. This Nigerians are tired. Nigerians are this. Nigerians are that. He said, we shall see. So it was like a bet between me and him to see what will be the outcome in the judiciary. So we hope that everything will be in our favor, because we fought for this for months, and everything that transpired, in our eyes, just 2 million difference. How can you tell me in Nigeria a president can emerge as the president of this country with just 2 million with just 2 million difference, you know that it's rigging now. Now, if you revisit Lagos and Rivers, it can give us that 2 million deficit. I'm telling you. So the case is very is very open. Is very, very open. So nobody can even deceive it. So we should not be distracted. Honestly, we should not be distracted. Let's continue to push and see what will happen. Thank you guys. I really appreciate. Savit, Savit, it's been long that we talk. Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations to Mr. Jerry, the new APC National Chairman. Sorry, I didn't congratulate you.
Going to court.
Court again. Please, Jerry, accept my heartfelt congratulations. Thank you, Jerry.
Fully accepted. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Aboki. Please see your DM. I think
because I mean the first declare.
that be Tinubu now. That be Tinubu of APC. You want rig everything, come on. All right, guys, let's keep the conversation rolling. Let's bring in my sister now. Nello, calm down first. Let's bring in Spotlight. Spotlight is rarely on this space, so when she comes up here, I want to give her preference.
She supersede. Sorry, everybody.
She finished, don't enter now.
Now,
Yes,
see,
so
I
when
want,
it comes to Spotlight,
Nello,
we
I
see you
won't
finish.
give you co-host. You go co-host.
Bribe. There you go. Collect the bribe. Now bribe, Bonello.
Should we bribe you?
Then I'll send. Because I want to send
Nello.
out.
All right.
Okay.
My
Okay.
sister.
Can I go? Good evening, Adam.
Go on, man.
Adam. Good evening, Otumba. Otumba, you're on fire today. Oh. And Jimmy. I mean, to all of us. Jimmy. Jimmy on the timeline is like Jimmy is really on fire as well. Well done to every one of us. Okay, so I came in when I think it was Savit that was speaking, and then General Oluchi. And from the topic, I'll just focus on the BBC expose. So what I would just want to say is, okay, if maybe some of us that follow me would have seen my own slant. Yeah, so I am on the other side where I believe that the expose has a slant, it has an agenda, and that agenda for me is just obvious. Because as soon as I read the article, yes, I know that there wasn't really any new discovery in the article apart from two things. One was them talking about the fact that there's no substantial after repeating all that we have known all this while, that there are no substantial. When you add what has been taken, what they believe has been taken away from LP, that it will not change the results substantially. But for me, that is being smart by half, because even if Otumba has argued in ways that suggest that international media organizations may not necessarily, ask that question. But the moment I read it, that was what stood out for me. Yes, we know that the case study is River State, but every credible media organization, every credible person basically would actually ask questions. Even if you don't, I do not expect them to put it out pointedly that, okay, that other states are compromised. But you could ask questions in editorial, when you are editorializing, you could ask questions. You begin to ponder or make your readers to ask, wonder, could other states have also had similar issues? But they were so stoic, they were so rigid in their conclusion. For me, what they just wanted to pass across was that these things that River State is a lone case, that Tinubu's selection or election was credible, was fair, and everything, and that they were even also trying to shine a good light on INEC for even putting it on the IREV that River State is the only one that is compromised. And then another thing for me was the issue about Dr. Dixon Arriaga. Yes, I think it's a ruse. I know that people like that will exist. Probably there's a Dixon Arriaga, that's fine. But I don't think that is that for me is just going to be a fall guy. someone unknown, an unknown INEC official that did the result and all of that. And they didn't even put out the guy's clear picture. I'm also checking to see what he looks like, I mean, on YouTube, but I've not been able to get to that point. I'm also trying, so if any other person has been able to find a better video of that particular section, that would be great, so that we will all know and follow it through. But I think that we know who the sponsors of this electoral malpractices are. We know who the beneficiaries are. We know who the custodians of the electoral process is, which is INEC. We know who should have been the enforcers of our electoral laws. They should be the ones focused. I mean,